So, after all that drama, Arsenal get their man. The superstar striker Victor Gyökeres will be getting his move to North London, of course. A transfer that he has been pushing for. There was all kinds of drama that I've been reacting to over the last few weeks, mainly coming from agents, and it seemed like a battle of the egos in this transfer. But Berta, big old Berta, the sporting director of Arsenal, gets his man, and Mikel Arteta, who will be in his, when was he, his 6th, 7th season? However, deep into the project, probably for the first time, he's got a proper striker. Of course, he pushed out Aubameyang, who was a proper centre-forward, but I could say Gabriel Jesus, but he operated wide for both Man City and Arsenal. But Victor Gyökeres is going to Arsenal. What does this mean for the likes of Kai Havertz? Is Kai Havertz going to move into the Odegaard position? Odegaard's been obviously out of form. Or are they both going to get dropped and you're going to see the future as Nwaneri and Victor Gyökeres? There's so much to talk about. We're going to get into it here today, guys. Welcome back to Football Yannick. Thank you for joining me. Amazing support here on the channel lately, so I'm very thankful for that. If you want to be part of the YouTube journey to 20,000 subscribers, then hop on board, man. We're on 18.7, which is incredible. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Now, David Ornstein and Mario Cortegana write on The Athletic the following. Arsenal are in the process of completing the deal for Victor Gyökeres. A deal in principle was in place. I think Romano's given a here we go. Potentially, I need to double check, but by all accounts, it's happening. For a fixed fee of just shy of 55 million, and then add-ons 8.6 million. So whatever, what's the total fee then? 64, 64, I don't know. It's good value, you'd have to say, for a striker who scored a lot of goals. Again, I still think it's weird that there wasn't a big clamour for him in the end. Talks have been prolonged by Sporting President Federico Varandas. Yeah, he's the guy who was doing a lot of talking, wasn't he? Refusing to accept what Gyökeres believes was a gentleman's agreement to leave the club for 60 plus 10. 60 million euros plus 10 millions in add-ons. So it still would be 10 millions in add-ons, but it's 63.5. So it's an extra 3.5 billion euros in the grand scheme of things, boys. Come on. That amount is exceeded by Arsenal's proposals and have now made a formal advances over terms for the switch. So Gyökeres he's not returned to pre-season training with Sporting. He went on strike. He said to them, "I'll never play for you again." Amid his desire to join the Premier League club, and 5-year contract is of course lined up. The 27-year-old Sweden international has emerged as Arsenal's preferred target to recruit as a specialist centre-forward and prioritise them over all suitors, while manager Mikel Arteta wants him to join the squad at the earliest opportunity, as you'd expect. Of course, he played at Coventry City before moving to Sporting, and so far, Arsenal's window looks a little something like this. They got Zubamendi over the line, which will be a starter in the midfield, with Declan Rice and one other. We'll talk about that in a moment. They've also signed Christian Norgard, who will be a rotational option from Brentford, which is a good signing, I think. 31 years old, cheap. And Kepa Arrizabalaga, 5 million for a backup goalkeeper. I think that's probably quite good business. And of course, Noni Madueke, £52 million from Chelsea. Penny for Noni Madueke's thoughts watching that Chelsea performance against the European champions PSG in the Club World Cup final. I'm not talking about Chelsea here. That's all I've got a whole channel for Chelsea, but Noni Madueke is ostensibly an Arsenal player. So there's a sort of analysis piece here on why Gyökeres is good. We know he's good. He's a goal scorer. He's assists. He's probably just weaknesses. He doesn't score goals. He doesn't come short, but he runs loads in behind. He'll give them. He's just strong as well. He's an excellent signing. I think it'll be very interesting to see how he plays for Arsenal. He'll get paid. He'll be on high wages. He's 27 years old. This is like the contract of his career. This 5-year segment, 27 to 32. He's gone to the Premier League. He's gone to Arsenal. He's gone to London. He's getting the money. He's going to a very good team in Arsenal. I always say it, they're really good because they don't get mugged off, and they're not in they've been surgically removed from a banter era, which is great. Which is, I think, and in the midst, of course, Chelsea winning their second trophy under Maresca in his first season. There's been a lot of talk about Arteta, but, as much as I like to banter him as an opposition fan, I do like to reiterate he's done excellent work purely because he's made them consistently good, which is so hard. So hard to make them. No one like, apart from always being the bridesmaid banter, no one can, say Arsenal are a bad team. They've been a good team for 3 years, like a really good team. So that's, if you're the employer of Arteta, the youth sporting directors, the owners, you're like, thank you very much, mate. You're giving us Champions League money on the regs. We're never frightened of dropping out of Champions League qualification. You are the guy. So, yes, what does this mean for the Arsenal strongest lineup? Well, let's start off with the defence isn't changing. So the defence isn't changing. The goalkeeper isn't changing. There's a backup now. We know it is Zubimendi, and correct me if I'm wrong, Arsenal fans, in the comments, of course, because this is a little bit outside looking in, speculation to a degree here. Zubimendi, Declan Rice in the sort of left number 8 channel, and then Bukayo Saka on the right wing, Victor Gyökeres as your striker up top. Now, the two places I want to speak about is left winger and right number 8, where Odegaard plays. Arsenal captain, who, let's be fair, had a stinker of a season last campaign. Now, there might have been mitigating circumstances. I think he had his first child, or certainly, he had a young child, and that, can distract you late nights and family, emotional changes and all that kind of stuff. So maybe, people are humans. It's real life, baby. But for such an amazing player, there was a time where, the quality in their midfield of Odegaard and Rice, because obviously both can really affect the game going forwards, and Declan Rice increasingly more so. But Odegaard would press really well. He'd be really, really intelligent in terms of kind of work rate and defense. He looked like a bit of a PSG player before everyone fell in love with this PSG team. But he's been terrible. He's not had a good season. I'm gonna have a look at his stats from last campaign, because I want to see, because he still, you still banked on him for goals and assists, didn't you? Really, especially being the leader and stuff. And when they didn't have a Victor Gyökeres there. So in the Premier League, he got 3 goals and 8 assists. I mean, 8 assists is pretty good, but the 3 goals for a player who they really wanted to, you'll be looking for him to sort of double digit in both, really. It's underwhelming to say the least. 11 goal involvements in 2,332 minutes. I feel like, yeah, also he's 26, Odegaard. Should be his time. So the question is, first of all, does Noni Madueke start on the left wing? Does he start over Martinelli? Now, Arsenal fans love Martinelli, even the ones that probably think, he could do a bit more in terms of production numbers. They do love him. He's very, very fast. He can be very threatening. With the greatest of respect, often he gives Garnacho to me, this really dynamic, can get the ball, can go, yada yada yada, but not end product. So there is that. Or do you start Noni Madueke? Does Noni Madueke go to Arsenal knowing that has Mikel Arteta said to him, look, mate, I've seen you play on the left wing. Do you want to start on the left wing for Arsenal? Be the guy here. And obviously when Saka's out, Bukayo's out, you start on the right. We'll play someone else on the left. Trossard, if he's still knocking about or whatever. Or Martinelli, if he doesn't go to Saudi, was being linked. And maybe Noni's gone, yeah, cool. So maybe it's a front three of Madueke, Gyökeres, and because I know they're still being linked to Eze, but Eze is an inside player, isn't he? He's an attacking midfielder who does all his best work centrally. I know in some games he's technically started, at left inside forwards in a back three system, which is not left winger, it's more inside as well. And you can play him on the left, but he's wasted. So I don't know if they're going to sign Eze. Gyökeres, Noni Madueke, Zubimendi, Norgard, Kepa. These are, it's a good window really. But Kai Havertz, £68 million. Kai Havertz, also from Chelsea. They give a lot of money to Chelsea. Last season he got 9 Premier League goals. He did get injured, didn't he? In and 3 assists. It was a bit underwhelming because for a guy who's playing striker, it was a bit underwhelming. And nearly 1,900 minutes. Yeah, so it was underwhelming. And again, we need to remind ourselves that Mikel Arteta bought Kai Havertz to be an attacking number 8. And he get lumped up front. But he's only 26 as well. Same age as Odegaard. So what happens to Kai Havertz, guys? Is he benched? Is his Arsenal career over? Because there's an argument to be made, yeah. Because Ethan Nwaneri, the young kid, the teenager, looks amazingly talented and did a job in Bukayo Saka's absence on the right wing. But Arsenal fans will tell you he's an attacking midfielder. Maybe he should be the one stepping into the Odegaard position void in his absence, or even in poor form. Just put this dynamic, explosive kid in there that's actually going to affect games massively offensively. And, Odegaard can ride the bench until he's doing what Nwaneri does in the attacking midfield. So is there a world where Martinelli, Havertz and Odegaard don't start for Arsenal by the end of the next season? I don't know. I think it's really, really interesting. They've paid so much money for Havertz. I think he's their highest earner. Kipology has him at like 300 or just under £300,000 a week, which is massive. You don't not pay that guy. That's like, Chelsea Raheem Sterling problems. And he's only 26, Havertz. He is a good operator. Maybe there's a system that Arteta's thinking where you play Havertz as like an inside left winger. But then again, where's Noni going to play? Is Noni literally going there to be just this rotational backup for Bukayo Saka at £52 million? I mean, maybe. But I want to put it out to you guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Where do you think Arsenal go from there here in terms of how they shape up, how they look? Great for Arteta. He's got options, but are some players going to miss out here and be a bit grumpy? So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Thanks as always. If you're watching and you find yourself returning, why not drop a sub? Let's get to 20,000 subscribers. I'll be very grateful for that. And I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.